Okay, let's see. How we all doing today, huh? Yep, today, if you couldn't guess from the title, we're gonna go ahead and play Morph Girl. And essentially, it's kind of an FMV live action sort of game. It looks like it was inspired by stuff like Ju-on, Grudge, and, The Ring, etc. And I'm also trying out, again, the ultra low latency because there's going to be choices and decisions to make. And if there's a 14-second delay, it's going to be hard. So it should be more like a 3-second delay. So you guys should be able to help me make some choices here. Let's see. Guess who has to butt buttons and cow ears today? Buttons and cow ears, huh? Oh, for cattle, right? Yowzer. Hope you're not feeling sick anymore. I'm doing better. I'm going to try and limit this stream to roughly around an hour. We'll see if I start losing my voice like yesterday. But, let's see. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and play, right? I wonder if I should take the cursor off. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of... Yeah, you know what? Let me just real quick take the cursor off here. There we go. Worst case, I can put it back on. There we go. Now it's just not in the way. Okay, what's your favorite horror game? Oh, there's so many. I'd have to think about it, and even then I'd have to give, like, the top 5 or something. All right, here we go. Morph Girl does not autosave. Oh? When visible, use the cogwheel icon to save, load, or quit the game. Oh, well, you said it. Remember to save frequently and prior to important events or decisions. Load these save files should you wish to revisit them. Okay, well, you know what? There you go. I should probably hide the toolbar. Hang on. Let's get that out of the way. Well, that didn't help. There we go. All right, a cutscene was going, but yeah, hey there, Mario. Hope you're feeling better. Make sure to use lots of ice on that. My name is Alana Pierce. Or Elena, I guess. On Friday, it will have been a year since the death of my wife, Rebecca. Since then, my life has been one of tedium and monotonous routine. I work an underpaid office job at a failing insurance company. I don't have any friends, and I rarely leave the house. And in just a few days, everything is going to change. Must be a Monday. Yeah, she's depressed from the way she sighs every now and then. Neat protagonist. She gonna get a sec-eyed? Rebecca was a writer. Her reluctance to find real work put strain on both our finances and our relationship. During an argument over our accumulating debt, Rebecca suffered a seizure. She was quickly diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. Okay. That escalated. She died 9 months later. Well, at least we still have our spices, right? Actually, what was that? That looked like pepper. Huh. Every day, I watch her favorite movies, read her journals, and her short stories. Well, tell you what, listen, not to be that kind of person, but, authors sell best when they're dead, right? So just, mark it up as a tragic death of a young writer and then just start publishing stuff, right? What started out as a means to move on quickly became a routine that I couldn't escape. There is little to my life outside of what I have left of Rebecca. I feel like in 3 seconds it's just gonna fade and like we're inside Phantasmagoria and we'll have to walk around and interact with things. Although I have a feeling the entire game is gonna be cutscene based. So yeah, but it does take some of the work off of my voice, so that's why I chose it. I very quickly began to underperform at work. My boss was very understanding, but as the company started to lose money, coworkers began to resent me for the work I could not do. I was quickly relegated to my own office. Oh no! Promoted to your own office for, alright, yeah, well, you know what, I might resent her too, if she gets her own office for not doing stuff. Coworkers make hateful comments and drop hints about my supposed job security whenever I talk to them. I try not to talk to anybody. Isn't this the plot to Silent Hill 2? Yeah, plot twist, she actually smothered her with a pillow. Plumbers don't wear ties, horror edition. We'll have to play that someday. Actually, maybe not. I don't know if there's nudity in it. I can't remember. People tell me that I need to move on and get over Rebecca's death. I don't want to. I can't. Wait a minute, is that an urn on the table? Is that Rebecca's ashes? I can't tell if that's just like a decoration or legitimately an urn. So I won't. Well, see, it's hard to feel bad when she's like, well, I mean, I could, but I don't want to. It's just like, oh, well, all right. She's just radiating an aura of depression. You can see the depression lines just shimmering off her like heat. Yeah. You voiced this video? No, I'm just reading it. It's probably gonna have voice acting, but right now there's just subtitles. It's been 5 minutes. It's been 5 months since Rebecca was diagnosed. Breathing is becoming difficult for her. Movement is an almost Herculean, I used to know this word, Herculean task now. While her doctors say that we still have options, Rebecca is beginning to refuse further treatment. So it says she died 9 months after being diagnosed. This must be a flashback because it's 5 months after she's been diagnosed. Beginning to refuse further treatment. She wants to travel. Well... Oh, well, there's only one option. Okay, sure. Okay, she wants to travel the world before she dies, seeing all that she can while she can. She's giving up. I don't want her to. She's tired. Too tired for optimism. Too tired for treatment. She's tired of living. We argue constantly over the continuation of her treatment. She only has months left if she doesn't. She's getting visibly weaker with every passing day. She can barely walk, let alone travel the world. It would kill her. That isn't how you're supposed to use Herculean. I thought it was used to describe a task that is like practically impossible. Like, didn't Hercules get those 9 trials or whatever? Although maybe that's not, I'm only used to seeing it in contests, so whether they used it correctly is unknown to me. Rebecca knows all of this. She doesn't want to be miserable anymore. She wants the both of us to spend the rest of her life in some exotic country, to elope from her treatment with money we do not have, with time she doesn't have. Lie to Rebecca or beg for treatment. Okay, so here's where the choices is going to come in. Oh no, I don't have my gear anymore. I can't save. Okay. What would we even lie about, though? Oh, would it be a lie to say, yeah, sure, we've got all the money in the world to go on vacation? All right, what do you guys think? She's dying, don't lie. Yeah. She'll die anyway. So I'm seeing no lie, no lie, lie, no lie. Lying's all right. All right, you guys. I'll let you guys have the reins here. We'll go ahead and lie. I tell Rebecca that we can go wherever she wants. I say we can afford it. When she gets better, she will go traveling, but right now she needs something to look forward to. Anything to be happy about. Rebecca is finally enthusiastic, talking and insistently discussing where and when we might go. Eventually she stops. Actually, that might be a good strategy. Say, hey, listen, we can go wherever you want. We'll just do a couple more, months of treatment, because that should, keep her wanting to wake up every day and, get to the point where she can travel. I don't know. Weeks go by. We don't go anywhere. She realizes that we can't actually afford it, that I wouldn't let her go if we could. She realizes that I lied to her. I never see her happy again. Well, good job, guys. Damn, this is just Guilt Machine. Yeah, Guilt, the FMV game. No choice was the right one, to be honest. Each one's gonna just end poorly. Alright, well, I guess now we'll save. There we go. Just a few days until the anniversary of Rebecca's death, so it's been a whole year and you're still... oh boy. I'm not ready for it. Tuesday. So when does the grudge chick show up? We can make a wacky sitcom out of it, us and our undead roommate. Question is the ghost gonna be her, or is the ghost gonna be something else? Should have taken out alone. Oh, every day goes by the same as the last. Is that the head that wouldn't die? I think I recognize that movie. I don't know if it's guilt, loyalty, or just fear that compels me to stay put. How can I have happiness when I denied her the same? Somebody says the ghost is a metaphor for your angst, probably. It did say there were supernatural elements, so that's the only reason I would have gone with the game. I hate it where games are like, oh, the supernatural stuff? No, that was just a metaphor. Your life sucks and you're sad about it, that's all. I hate those. It's like, give me actual supernatural stuff. Rebecca wants me to read some of her book on account that I never have before. Oh, she's an author and you've never touched her stuff? Oof. I've always condemned her choice to focus on writing as opposed to pursuing legitimate employment. Yeah, she should be, an underpaid worker at a failing office like you, right? Her writing has always been a source of major contention between us. She wants to know what I think of it, before that's no longer possible. Well, you're gonna have to say it's good, otherwise it's gonna kill her faster. Okay. Game feels a bit pretentious, to be honest. Could be. I don't know what to say. Most of these mediums, films, books, games that focus on depression or tragedy do feel a bit, pretentious. I don't know if they can help it or not. Like, if they're self-aware, suddenly there's not as much angst or grief, you know what I mean? It's hard to be angsty when you're actually self-aware. I don't know what to say. She's desperate for me to read it despite prior altercations. This makes me feel angry and a little bit guilty. Just read it. Oh my god, it can't be that bad. Despite everything, she still insists that her writing career is important to her. You even put career in quotes. Come on. The very pursuit that has jeopardized our home, financial security, and our marriage for years. I don't want to encourage her, but it's her passion. Tell her that you won't. Tell her that, yeah, listen, we're gonna have to read her story. That's not like a big thing to ask. I tell Rebecca that I will read it. It's a collection of short horror stories. I finished them all in just a few days. They're good, really good. Rebecca's university grades were relatively poor, but she was always highly regarded for her fiction writing. She's really talented. I feel guilty. We'll start publishing those puppies, right? Market them as, hey, she's dying. If you guys want to, support us, buy our stories so that we can, get better treatment or at least see the world. etc. Only now that she's dying have I even bothered to read any of her work. All these years I've kept Rebecca from her writing aspirations, and now she really may never reach them. When she asks if I read it, I'm too embarrassed, ashamed to admit any of this to her. I tell her that I've been too busy. She never asks again. What are you doing? Oh, these people have no chemistry. Okay, well, fair enough. I often think that I would do anything to get Rebecca back. Would I? Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. How is everybody doing today? I guarantee you, everybody's doing better than this. I refuse to get on with my life, and yet I still expect it to change. It's almost as though I were waiting for something. Oh, I thought, okay, that was the same line. Oh, here we go, guys. Ghost is gonna show up. Or the shower head had a nosebleed, either way. It's been 2 months since the diagnosis. Rebecca is exhausted from chemotherapy, sick of both the side effects and its administration. She doesn't like her doctor or any of her nurses. She hates the hospital and is very outspoken about how much she doesn't want to be around real cancer patients. Okay, they're both kind of awful people. Rebecca doesn't want to feel unable. Unable? Unstable? Ill? Oh well, she's restless and very much in denial. Someone call the plumber. Yeah, see, this is a plumber. All plumbers wear ties tie-in. It's Friday night. Rebecca wants to go out with her friends. I tell her that I don't think it's a good idea for her to be exerting herself so soon after therapy. I need this, she says. I'm scared that this will be too much for Rebecca, but I can't keep her from living her life. Well, here's the thing. Like, she's not saying she's going to run a marathon. She's just probably going to get in a car and drive to, a restaurant or something. I don't think that's really exerting herself too much. Plus, when you're going through this, you do want to be moving around and at least lightly, exercising. If you just sit in a bed for months, that's hard on your body. Yeah, I had a family member with brain cancer, and this is kind of similar to some of the stuff that went on with us. So I'm gonna override it and say let her go. Because I mean, it's not like she's gonna go hiking or running a marathon. She's just going to a restaurant or something. She needs to be up and about at least a little bit. I tell Rebecca to have fun. Wait, are we not going out with her? Oh, whatever. I worry all night, but refrain from calling. At around midnight, Rebecca comes home early. I pretend to be asleep. She's wheezing. In the morning, I ask Rebecca about her night. She says that it was a little too much for her, but she's glad she went. Really, you should have just gone with her just to, monitor her at least. Thank you. It's not like going out one night is going to mean her brain cancer kills her. That's not going to be the deciding factor, I don't think. Oh yeah, and plus we already know she dies anyway. What am I even worried about? Rebecca's friends have good reasons not to like you. Yeah, exactly. Really though, it just seems like they were a dysfunctional couple. The couple that you look at and you're like, why are they together again? Hi, Saurus. I hope you're doing good today. The couple live in the same house, but their only interactions are in conflict. It could also be like the unreliable narrator thing where she's looking back on it and all she can see is the negative stuff. Look at that short shower head. What the heck? Oh, God, something's gonna happen. What is that? I think I see something by the bath plug. Is something leaking? It doesn't look like water. Why are you standing outside in the doorway? You don't have a reason to be afraid yet. Should I go in? Yeah? Are you afraid of your own bathroom? It's the Ghostbusters pink slime. Let her die. It's very thick in consistency, almost as though it's oozing out of the plumbing as opposed to dripping or leaking. But it looks like it dripped down. That's what it looks like. It looks like droplets. It looks black. Or maybe red. I don't know. I don't know what it could be. But it seems to be coming out of the shower head. Directly put your eye underneath it. Freaking Ellen. Oh, great. Now it's on your face. Great. Ebola. We're done. I would have run the shower head, but I mean, okay. Why did you put it on your face? She looked underneath it like a dope. I don't know what was in the bath, but whatever it is, I need to forget about it. Or maybe just run the water, call a plumber. Could be rust, particles flaking off or something. I can't be thinking about this right now. Oh, right, you got so much on your mind. Not this week. Oh, yeah, the anniversary. I have some time before I leave for work. I can collect myself in the living room. I can pretend that everything is all right. It isn't. I just got here. What's the story so far? Her wife or girlfriend or fiancé or whatever died of brain cancer, and now she's just moping around her house, and now her shower head is bleeding, and you are exactly caught up. Oh, wow, look at that. We have agency. I feel like because it prompted me to save at that one area, that's going to be a major choice. So I'm going to make a new save here. All right, so we have a choice between looking through photos of Rebecca, looking through Rebecca's notebook, looking through Rebecca's favorite movies, and then TV. What do you guys think would be the most productive choice? Is she going to Sudoku in the bathtub in the end? No, she's going to Sadako in the bathtub at the end. Remember, this is Grudge inspired, or Ring inspired. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of notebook and TV. We'll try notebook first and then TV. Let's read some creepypasta. Rebecca was an avid creepypasta writer. Known for such gems as Jeff the Killer and Who Was Phone. It's one of the notebooks Rebecca used to write her stories in. Oh God, why did you guys make me pick this? My throat. Come with us, page 1. Typical. That's the best way Jane could have described the night. The moon was out, lighting the room in a dull... Can I not talk? The moon was out, lighting the room in a dull, familiar glow. The air was still, peaceful. It was the perfect conditions for sleeping. It was the perfect conditions for sleeping? The perfect condition for sleeping. Is that grammar wrong? Some grammar nerd tell me if that's right or wrong. Many would agree with her, except the typical night had been disturbed in the most atypical way Jane could have ever imagined. Jane squirmed in the corner of her bed. She pressed herself against the headboard and the wall, hugging her knees. Most of all, she was trembling. It wasn't every night that you wake to find an expressionless child standing at the end of your bed, after all. The main question on Jane's mind was why? Why her? Why tonight? Why a child? Jane never thought of herself as particularly special. Surely this only happened to those who warranted it, the weird and wonderful, not someone like her. Let's see. Jen drowned. Hef the killer. Slimmer man. Dark red. Hey, glad to see you. Okay, Normal. And that's the best way Jane could describe herself. Her name was Jane Audrey Phillips, named after her 2 grandmothers naturally. She had brown shoulder-length hair. It was practical, brown eyes like her father. She wasn't particularly tall, neither particularly short. She did well at school. It led to a job that paid her bills. Well, she's already got a leg up on the protagonist. She neither liked her job nor did she dislike it. She had often thought she was a very neutral person. She didn't think much of anything. Not that she wasn't happy. She was in a calm, contented way. She got on with things. Much like herself, the day could also be described as normal. She woke 3 minutes before her alarm, as she usually did, ate a reluctant breakfast, and headed to work. Work was average. Papers needed filing, reports needed writing, minimal conversation, and a sticky R key on her laptop. Returning home, leftovers for dinner, calling her mum. It was the routine she'd had for years. She went to bed on time and fell asleep in a timely manner. Nothing indicated anything odd should happen to her at all. And yet, there the child stood at the end of her bed in her room. I know I kind of made fun of it. Let's see here. Yeah, dark red. Nice to see you. Glad you could make it. It's nice to see a longtime fan. Is it just me, or the flickering frames has a face on it? Are you kidding? Does it? Okay, well, I'll keep an eye out. I know I just gave it a hard time, but that's actually 2 paragraphs to just automatically set the character and the scene. So, yeah, I didn't see a face, but then again, I don't know. I'll keep an eye out. Okay, page 2. Come with us. It was a girl. It was wearing... Oh, this is the last page. Cool. It was a girl. It was wearing a white nightgown reminiscent of times far gone. It had long, unwavering dark hair. Its face was pale and eyes were dark. It made Jane uncomfortable to think of the strange specter as a girl, so she didn't. A young girl wouldn't find herself in a stranger's room in the middle of the night. This was not a young girl. That was all Jane could figure out. The woman had already tried asking it for information, but it wouldn't speak. It didn't react at all. It just stared at her. There was a chill on her spine she was desperately trying to ignore, almost as if someone was slowly dragging an icicle up her back. She pressed herself harder against the wall. The sensation didn't cease. Finally, the child parted its pale lips. Though this was once the outcome Jane was hoping for, somehow it only terrified her more. She shrunk further into the bed. She was shivering. "Come with us." Jane sucked in her breath as the child spoke. Its voice was small and soft. It sounded like a little girl. It almost left Jane less afraid, almost, but the eyes were so dark and the stare was so intense. Jane desperately wanted to look away or close her eyes, but she daren't. She daren't. Oh. The woman, that might actually be normal grammar, but I've never seen it. The woman, wouldn't it be dare not? The woman was terrified if she broke eye contact, the child would do something. Oh my god, that just scared me so bad. Over the protagonist's shoulder was a guy on TV, and he leaned back and kind of looked at the camera over his shoulder. That scared me so freaking bad. That's so dumb. Okay, that was okay. It doesn't matter. God, that scared me. Yeah, you can see him on the TV. There's a frame where he just leans back and looks at you. It's I'm sure it's unintentional, but God, she couldn't. He did it again. I hate that. She couldn't know what. The unease only grew. The child's face remained blank as it stared, though its head tilted to the side. It was almost cute, only almost. Jane suddenly realized it was waiting for a response. The woman released the breath she didn't realize she was holding. Where? Her voice wobbled as she spoke. Her lip left trembling. The child shook its head a little, its dark hair shuffling over its chest. "Come with us." Okay. That's a no creepypasta for now. You daren't. Yeah, exactly. I've never read creepypasta. You're more of an SCP guy. Well, isn't SCP sort of... it's got a lot of similarities with creepypastas. Your phobia is TVs. I'm so sorry. He looked at us. I'm telling you, that guy on the freaking TV looked right at us. Maybe we're just supposed to do everything and then the TV, puts us into the next scene. Let's try photos real quick, and then we'll finish off with TV. Best narrator ever. I wish. I get distracted too much. Yeah, it doesn't help if the narrator reading the horror starts freaking out in mid-narration. Photos of me and Rebecca on the day we moved in. We probably shouldn't have moved into a house with such expensive rent, but Rebecca wouldn't stop talking about kids. Though Rebecca was set on living in the city, she also thought we'd need the extra space. Well, you couldn't even really support yourselves. Kids seem kind of like a rush. I think we would have been good parents. I don't know if I can agree to that. You two did not seem to really get along as well as you could have. Maybe you should read The Notebook again? Why? It's one of the notebooks Rebecca used to... Okay, yeah, it's just come with us again. That's it. Okay, there's nothing more here. There's no arrow to proceed. Okay. Scaring me like that? Okay, oh yeah, that's right. She didn't even show us the photo book, did she? Alright, films. Let's have a look at films. You were just kidding? Well, I'm glad I looked. That way I wouldn't have to wonder. It's Rebecca's collection of horror movies. Well, some of them. Oh, okay, very productive. Alright, let's go ahead and save real quick. We've made so much progress.
Let me die. Let me die.
The brain that wouldn't die? I was right. I mean, I think I said head that wouldn't die, but you know. There's a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode on this. I'd recommend it. The Brain That Wouldn't Die. I used to like this one. The film is about a mad scientist who manages to keep a woman's severed head alive for several days. The woman begs for him to let her die. Wow, you know what? That movie actually ties in very well with the plot. Unsurprisingly, I no longer care for it. Okay. Alright, so we have an option to leave. Let's just go over the prompts one more time, make sure there's no new dialogue, and then we'll go ahead and hit the leave button. Let's see. Yeah, this is the same. The entire blank photo album. Memories. Okay. And then last up is the films. She's not gonna do anything, she's just gonna look at them. Yep, okay, well, time to leave. Does it have the full movie? It's probably just a clip. I've noticed that the cutscenes are repeating, are just kind of like repeating clips, and when it repeats, it does that kind of staticky thing. If you don't press a thing, the whole movie just plays, just like in How to Destroy All Humans, you can watch Teenagers from Space. Really? I mean, I doubt it, but that'd be kind of a fun Easter egg. Please finish report by end of tomorrow. Maybe you'd be happier working somewhere else? Passive-aggressive comments certainly aren't uncommon around here, but I don't think I can put this report off any longer. Maybe they wouldn't be passive-aggressive if you actually did your reports, though. Just saying. I'll do the bulk of the report tomorrow. I can't do this right now. Like, I get it. Passive-aggressiveness sucks. It doesn't really have a place in the workplace, but what are they supposed to do when she's literally not doing the work? Like, it's been a year. It's not like it's been a week or so. It's been a year. It's the anniversary. I used to take comfort in working here after Rebecca's death. I could pretend that she was at home waiting for me, just like before. A small part of me really believed that she would be. It would be better if they were regular aggressive. Like they just walk in there and throw the report at her. Do it! And then walk out. Yeah, the tub filled up. I wonder if it's going to be magically drained by the time we get home. I'd call somebody. You don't know if that's toxic or full of, heavy metals or not. Did I say heavy metals? I'm not sure what the term is. Like the toxic metals you're really not supposed to ingest or absorb. Whatever, such as lead, whatever was leaking has now completely filled the bath. It looks like blood. I need to call somebody over to fix this. I don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with it. Listen to me. You have to call somebody over to, what are you just gonna do? Not shower? I can't deal with this. Not today. Not this week. Not anymore. It sounds like you haven't been dealing with things for a year, though. Heavy metals works. I'm guessing this is a student project. Could be. I mean, the cinematography is fine, or at least to a layman like me, I'm not noticing anything wrong with it. The actress is fine. The set is fine. If it's amateur, I'd say it's a very good amateur one, Yeah, we're gonna call. I don't even have to look at the other option. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna override and say we're gonna call someone because that's just gross. Who you gonna call? I tell them about the bath, how it looks as though it has filled with blood. They refer me to the Ghostbusters. As expected, they don't believe me. Well, if I were them, I'd just say, hey, listen, it's probably just, rust from the pipes, maybe a backup or something. They can't send anybody over until Monday? And I'm expected to live with a bath full of this for 3 days. Do they not have other plumbers? It seems like you live in an area with high rent, so there's bound to be more than one plumber. It's not like you're living in a country. Have you played The Harvester? I haven't played The Harvester. I've seen the first 10 minutes, and I did play The Cat Lady. How much has happened so far? Our ex is dead. Well, not ex. Our fiance is dead of brain cancer. It's the anniversary. The main protagonist is just kind of hopeless, and our bathtub is full of blood. That's where we are right now. Great. You lost power. 3 days without a bath. Oof. Worst case, I suppose you could use bottled water, but depending on the resources, that may be a waste of clean water. Oof, the old bloodbath conundrum. Shoot, I wonder if there's going to be any nudity. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just do that for a second. Just in case, you know what I mean? Oh, but thank God she's got a towel on. I'm sorry you missed it, but she has a towel on. She literally walked through the doorway with a towel on. That's amazing. Yeah, thankfully I didn't see anything, but do I really want to chance it? No, I don't. But I'm not even kidding. She walked past the door with a white towel wrapped around her, the grudge chick. That's amazing. She has nice polished nails. Yeah, I know, she got her nails done. Rebecca always insisted on living in the city. It's expensive. We could only afford a small house. It's overpriced, ugly, and the landlord is a bitch. Were we to live anywhere else, this place would be a fraction of the rent I pay for it. I can get us somewhere bigger. Maybe then we could afford what Rebecca needs for recovery. I want to move. I do kind of sympathize with Elena there. It must be rough when a partner puts you in a home that neither of you can really afford. I mean, what's the point? Save the money. Making sure that Rebecca gets better as fast as possible is more important to me, but Rebecca insists that we stay. She says that the city is our home, that she doesn't want to leave our memories behind. It's a terrible place. We could save money. She doesn't want to leave her memories behind. Ugh. Okay, so we have another choice here. The waifu of the bathtub. Tub girl. So we have a choice of convincing Rebecca and letting Rebecca stay. Let's see. Well, I feel bad convincing her to leave because if she really does have a limited amount of time, at least let her stay in the place that she's happy in. But on the other hand, if we do leave, for somewhere better, then we'll have more money for treatments. Let her stay. Okay, fine. Let her stay. I mean, what's another couple months gonna be anyway? I reluctantly let her stay. She insists that she'll recover without the extra equipment. We spend the evening reminiscing about the horrible state that the house was on the day we first moved in. Rebecca did a really good job on it. She's proud. We get an urgent call about test results that day. Rebecca plays her wedding music in the car as we drive to the hospital. She sings along very loudly. She's trying to be positive. She's trying to make me smile. It's not good news. When are we gonna fist fight Rebecca? She's dying. It's terminal. We might not have to. It seems like cancer's gonna do the job for us. I can't smile anymore. We aren't making enough bad decisions in this run. Worst case, we can always try for a different ending. I do believe there are other endings, so... Oh, the bathtub's fine. What did you miss? We're just doing more backstory. We let her stay in the house during her final months of the sickness. I think I heard something break in the kitchen. Is somebody in there? I don't have time for any of this. I'm already late for work, and if I don't finish my report today, I could lose my job. Honestly, I'd rather be burgled. Actually, that's a really good freaking point. If we don't finish that report, we get fired and lose our money. Meanwhile, if there's a ghost in the house, there's not much we can do about it. If there's a burglar in the house, what is he gonna take? Rebecca's, shitty notebooks and shitty movies? You know what I mean? Honestly, I'd rather be burgled. Should I go in? That's a good point. Because think about it. If it's a burglar, the ghost is gonna get him. If it's a ghost, what the heck are we gonna do about it? Right? Let's get burgled. It's just Rebecca dying. Let's see. Leroy Jenkins' mother saved the game. I think I did right before I came to the door. Yeah, let's leave. We can call the police from outside, right? Right. We can always try for a different ending, a different route next time. She's just like, nope. That's actually pretty funny. Just miss work and keep resting your hand on the door forever. Honestly, I'm more invested in if she gets this report done than anything else. Well, now Rebecca is the burglar's problem. Yeah, exactly. He can fight the ghost. Oh, hello? Nothing. Nobody seems to be there. I guess I'll hang up. I wonder what she's typing. It looks like that's an actual sentence rather than gibberish. Damn robocalls. Yeah, it's funny. I got one 20 minutes ago. That's my home phone number. It's the burglar. He's gonna be like, hey, where do you guys keep the silverware? Is somebody really inside my house? Are they really calling me from my own home? Surely this has to be some kind of joke. Better ask that ghost to start paying rent. I shouldn't answer it. They've broken into my home. I still really need to finish this report by the end of the day. But maybe I should answer it. Listen, it's a phone call. Spend 2 minutes yelling at the ghost and or burglar and then go back to the report, right? What exactly is this game? It's a bad choice simulator. Maybe I should answer it. I have no idea who this person is or why they might be calling. Who knows who it could be? Who knows who it could be? Yeah, we're gonna answer. Heavy breathing. Is that Rebecca? Strained, raspy, and painful breathing from what sounds like a woman. Sounds like a deep voice to me. Boy, Rebecca, oof. It's absolutely horrifying. It sounds so painfully familiar, so reminiscent of Rebecca's breathing over the last couple months of her life. Just as the cancer had begun to spread to her lungs. Who could be doing this? Why are they doing this? Koala? Huh. Freaking Rebecca. And actually showed the ghost hanging up the phone. I'm dead. I'm dying. I can't believe that. Rebecca is dead. Then who was phone? Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure it was like Elena or Rebecca or something, but I swear it could have been Koala. You don't know. Hey, stay calm. They know it's me. Whoever is doing this is likely responsible for everything that's happened. This is just some terrible joke. I will just call the police, change the locks, and forget that any of this ever happened. Everything will be fine. Normal. Honestly, I'd be bringing someone in with you. Like a policeman. Like, say you heard a noise in your kitchen and then you were called from your home phone despite living alone. But did she finish the report? Oh, she's in a towel. It's fine. That's so nice of her to do that. I can't tell if that was a door slamming or if we actually just turfed it on the way up. The figure standing in the kitchen. Despite everything, it felt like Rebecca. It isn't Rebecca. Oh, but that's not even freaking Rebecca? Maybe if I don't know if it's like, oh, well, it couldn't be, Rebecca's dead, or is it like, literally, it looks nothing like Rebecca? Maybe if I hide here long enough, it will leave of its own accord. I don't know, it's been kind of camping in your house for the last week. When I see a ghost in my home, I always flee deeper into my own home. You're right, why didn't we just turn around and walk back out the door? I'm getting more angry with the protagonist and spooked. Yeah, I know, right? I'll stay here until it does. Oh, I hate that. It's gonna make me sit here and watch it like crawl into view. Rebecca has been hospital-ridden for a week now. Elena, not really the time to be reminiscing. She's on life support. She could no longer move or speak. She could barely breathe. We had to take her. Oh, she will never leave. So she didn't even die in the home. What's her ghost doing there then? She should be haunting the hospital. Yeesh. The doctors say that she has only days left. She's going to die. Rebecca is in horrific pain. She frequently gestures to her life support. She's telling you to pull the plug. This is freaking Silent Hill. Whoever suggested that is super right. I know what she wants. And see, this is the horrible choice of it all. If we do pull the plug, then we're going to be feeling guilty for murdering Rebecca. If we don't pull the plug, we're going to be feeling guilty for causing Rebecca just horrible suffering for days to die. You know what I mean? So either way, the ghost is going to have a reason to be pissed at us, right? Finish her. Oh, yeah, a lot of people are saying pull it. Do it, Palpatine. Yeah, alright, fine. Sorry, bit of a coughing fit there. I pull Rebecca's life support. Rebecca flatlines less than a minute later. It's what she wanted, but it isn't what I wanted. Well, yeah, but it wasn't your life, though. If I were to refuse, she would only spend her remaining days in agony waiting to die. Watch the doctors burst in. Good news, they just made a cure. Oh. But there was so much I wanted to say, so much I should have said to her. Well, yeah, you should have said something to her before just walking over and pulling the plug. Like, did you really just do that without any, final words? Her friends, her family, they never even got to say goodbye. I took that from them. I panicked, and now she's gone. You killed her. Fatality. No. Yeah. Oh, boy. Saturday. Yeah, I would have, I wouldn't have just gone over and done it right there. I would have, sat down, tried to talk about putting her affairs in order, calling her family, Oh, I see. So it all connects to that first scene. We're afraid of the ghost, but we left the door open? Are you kidding? Why does it say you killed her instead of I? It's just like Elena. Blame the player instead of herself, right? Rebecca's better still be in that towel. Just in case, though, I've got my finger over the button to hide the screen. Okay. Are you kidding? We're gonna be doing our bills after getting attacked by a ghost? Alright, well, we don't want the IRS coming after us. That's scarier than any ghost. What's on the bed? Looks like clothes, a laptop, a remote. Overdue rent. Oh, wait, I thought it said taxes. I honestly thought it said taxes instead of bills. I'm an idiot. Okay, landlords. Landlords are just as scary as ghosts. It still fits. Rebecca was always too focused on her writing to consider employment, but we managed until I was demoted. Yeah, I thought it said taxes. It said bills. Oof. Every time she unplugs something, she will remember her wife. Oh, no. It's a photograph of me and Rebecca at a party just a few days after we'd met. I was a loner at university. I spent a lot of nights at the student bar alone, hoping that I wouldn't be. One night I wasn't. I met Rebecca. She very quickly introduced me to her circle of friends and invited me to a party later that week. We kissed for the first time that night. So no photos? I still haven't actually seen Rebecca. I've seen the ghost, but I don't know if that's Rebecca. Notes and nice things. It's one of Rebecca's old notebooks. She used to write her short stories in these. A whisper is heard through the walls. Pay your fucking rent. I mean, can I see? Oh, there we go. Come with us, page 5. I was on page 2 last time. Oh, I doubt I missed anything. Afraid, it was the only emotion Jane could put into words. The child never left. She stayed by Jane's side until the terrified woman left for work. Acting normal seemed quite the task for her. Jane returned home wishing that the child would be gone. Alas, she was sat quiet as ever at the kitchen table, turning her head to Jane as she entered the room. So the ghost is literally sitting at the table. Well, it's a polite ghost. Jane spent the day trying to ask the child questions about her name, where she came from, who she was. The woman was met with silence each time. She gave up, continued as normal. If she ignored her, she might go away. But wherever Jane went, the child followed. Wherever Jane sat, the child sat against her. Ignorance wasn't an option. When nighttime fell, the child followed her closely throughout her routine, silent and expressionless. As Jane hesitantly climbed into bed, the child stood where she had done the night before and pointed, knitting her brow once again. Carefully, Jane offered the other side of the bed to her. The child, Lady, I know the kid's probably a ghost, but be careful, okay? FBI is gonna bust in there. The child did as she wanted and lay next to the trembling woman. Jane pressed her back against the wall as the child stared at her from the pillow beside her own. How would that make things better? Now the kid is like 3 inches from your face. They stared at each other for a while before the child sighed that soft little sigh again and closed her eyes. Jane didn't dare move her gaze for what felt like hours. The child didn't move. Her eyes remained closed, and she was softly breathing. Jane knew the child didn't eat, nor did it use the bathroom. There was very little reason to believe the child needed to sleep. Paranoid, the woman remained obstinately awake. This is what is happening to her. Yeah, it does mirror what's-her-name's own kind of situation, yeah? Is this like Alan Wake where the person's novels come to life? Is that the plotline of Alan Wake? Huh. I know it's a game that got released, but, and I know Stephen King, like, helped with the writing or something, but I never got the chance to play any of the games. Jane opened her eyes quickly, breathing rapidly as she realized she had fallen asleep. The child's eyes were open, though her position had not moved. It scared Jane to wake to those dark eyes staring at her once again. The room was still dark. Jane desperately tried to regulate her breathing. As her eyes swept the room, she let out a small shriek. Jane scrambled to sit up in the bed, pressing her back hard against the wall. There was a second child stood at the foot of her bed, staring at her with the exact same dark eyes. This child appeared to be a boy. The hair was shorter, but just as dark and flat. It particularly obscured his eyes. The child was also wearing a nightgown. They appeared to be a matching set, though they didn't acknowledge each other. Only her. Jane very briefly tore her eyes away from the second child to look at the first. She was sitting now, too, but her gaze was fixed on Jane. "Come with us," they spoke in unison. The woman sucked in a breath and fought the urge to cry. She shook her head a little in response. Jane then felt the child sit closer, her hair brushing against her arm. Jane looked down. The girl was staring right at her, leaning her head against her shoulder once again. "Come with us," she spoke, her voice soft. Somehow it calmed her. She felt herself able to breathe again. "Where?" she asked the girl. The child simply sighed and looked ahead, resting on her shoulder. Jane moved her gaze to the boy. He was staring at her. "Where?" she asked again. In response, he moved to where the girl stood the night before. Jane blinked at him and looked down to the bed. "Do you want to get on the bed?" "No, Jane. No. Bad," she asked fearfully. He did so, leaning against the girl, looking ahead as she did. All Jane could do was focus on taking breaths in and out. They sat like that until morning. Yeesh. That is when you get haunted, you don't just, have a sleepover pajama party with the ghosts. It's not how it works. Alright. TV, I guess. Attack of the Giant Leeches. This is one of Rebecca's old movies. She used to make fun of me for liking it. She said it was a really bad film. It is. Okay. Table. Oh, okay. So we have a diary, a rose, a trinket, and a ring. Let's look at the diary first, I guess, right? 2015. Oh, I guess this must have come out some years ago. Or it could just be an old diary. Entry number 1. Elena said yes. Imagining the Caribbean sun and sand almost makes me forget I'm dying. Ha. Oh, it's all crossed out. Imagining the Caribbean sun and sand almost makes me forget I'm dying. Huh. I'm sure I have time for Italy, too. I could end up remaking the cheesy romance story I wrote in high school. Well, I could if Elaine would agree to that. She agreed to ditching treatment. I can't push my luck, though treatment is a fancy term for lying in a hospital bed for even longer than I would be only to die anyway. Everyone dies, right? So why not do it in style? I'd rather be dying on a beach than in a gray hospital that smells of old people and vomit. If I wasn't dying, I might write about some dark, abandoned hospital. Well, I could, except now I'll be laying on the beach or eating fancy in Rome. Fuck it, I'll die in a hospital bed. Oh no. So this is the result of that choice we made where we lied. Entry number 2. So I tentatively asked Elena to read my stories. Well, not all of them, just the ones I wanted to publish. I won't be able to publish them now. Oh well, she's the biggest critic I have anyway. Oof. She said she would. It makes me nervous. I don't know why. When we were studying, she used to read what I wrote, but that was for school. After I graduated and decided to write full-time, she wasn't interested. Started off not having time nor interest for it, ended up shouting at me every time I mentioned it. Oh. Clearly, dying is the exception. I've always wondered what she'll say. I'll never find out. She said she was too busy. It was just 5 short stories. She could have read it in the evenings she doesn't spend with me. I know she hates seeing me like this, but she won't be seeing me at all soon enough. It would be nice if she could just think about me. Yeah, exactly. We really should have told her that we read them. Entry number 3. Wow, that was the first night out I've had in so long. The usual gang asked me to go out with them for the first time in a while. Since I told them I was on the treatment, really. They were a bit sympathetic and annoying at first, but once the alcohol kicked in, things went back to normal. I haven't been drunk in so long either. It was great. I could forget all about this shit and just laugh and dance and do whatever the hell I want. I got tired and a bit wheezy. The treatment really does kick you in the balls, but I had a good time. I refused to let it bring me down, not even for 1 second. Elena was worried. I knew she was, but I appreciate her accepting my choice. She doesn't always do that anymore. I think they'll ask me to join them more often now. They were so scared of it before. I think they were terrified they would break me. But they can try all they like. Life can't get rid of me that easy. Please fistfight Elena. She deserves it. She's horrible. Oh, everybody in here is just so freaking dysfunctional. Makes you want to write a bitter diary as well. Entry number 4. Elena wants to move. Of course she does. She's been itching to get out of this place since we moved in. I had to reassure her yet again this place is just a stepping stone. I think that's the doorbell. Hang on. Was that me? Okay, I'm a little spooked. Hang on. Okay, yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was the doorbell. I couldn't tell if that was in the game or not. Yep, I'm still here. I'm fine. Totally not a ghost now. Promise. Let's see. This is just a stepping stone. Where did I leave off? Okay, we'll be out of here when we can afford something better in our city. She wanted to live somewhere in the country because it was cheaper and we could get something better for our money. But life is a struggle. We should embrace the challenge. I told her that too. She doesn't like to hear it, but she listened. We love this city. It was always a part of our goals to live here way back when we were at university together. So why not dive in head first? Well, there's lots of reasons not to dive in head first. Rent is cutthroat. She knew I was right back then, and she knows it's right to not go back on it now. Not to go back on it now. I'm glad. I love our shitty little house. I don't care if it doesn't have the fancy equipment I need to recover. I'll recover fine without it. I don't want my home being turned into a hospital. That just sounds depressing. So, I don't even know how to write this. I don't even know how to think it. I've just been told I'm dying. They were really nice about it, but I'm dying. How does a person even process shit like that? I feel like it's not real, but I also feel winded. I don't know what to do. Let's see. Check your bathtub. Oh, it's fine. Even if it's full of blood, it's not like the plumber will do anything about it for a week, right? Okay. Entry number 5, you murdered me. You asked me to, Rebecca. You can't just... That's a really blasé face. That's a really blasé face for seeing you murdered me and you're dead. I mean, are we just gonna ignore that? I'm actually really spooked from that. Yeesh. As much as I hate Elena, Rebecca's the kind of person to ask you to unplug their life support and then say you murdered them. A preserved rose. Rebecca gave this to me on the last Valentine's Day we ever spent together. She said it would last forever, so that she could make up for all the Valentine's Days she was going to miss. It is wilting. Ain't that just the best metaphor for these two's relationship? Okay, trinket. Entry number 5, you murdered me. Ah, good times. Yeah, exactly. After she got to that entry, she shut the book like, memories, and then she just puts it back on the table. Like, who wrote that? How did she know to write that? She would have been dead, so who wrote that in the journal is just what I'm asking. Trinket. Okay. Okay. It's the crystal graduation bear I gave to Rebecca when she graduated, where she had encouraged me to become more confident and outgoing. I'd pushed and tutored Rebecca to finish university. I was so proud of her that day. You know, they really did seem to balance each other out. Elaine is like stone cold machine, business this, business that, study this, tutor that. Whereas Rebecca's just like, she never does any of her responsibilities. She's a free spirit. It sounds like they kind of kept each other in check, from just being really, I don't know, maybe they did need each other. And so very grateful. Perhaps the main protagonist wrote it herself. I don't think she would, though, because it would have been you murdered her, or I murdered her, it wouldn't be you murdered me, unless she's role-playing as Rebecca, which, okay. Plot twist, if you don't pull it, she says, you murdered me slowly. Yeah, exactly. See, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It's the engagement ring that I used to propose a few weeks after we had moved in together. It was a very cheap ring. We didn't have a lot of money at the time. I was so worried that she wouldn't like it. I don't think she did, though she would have never admitted it to me. Oh, the ring doesn't matter, though. Okay, well, let's go ahead and save so we don't have to do that all again. When we inevitably die. Oh no, plot twist. Rebecca actually wasn't motioning to her life support. She just wanted the TV remote. Okay, we have an option to leave now. Guess we'll go check if the ghost is still there. I mean, don't turn out the lights. You may have to run back in here if something goes wrong. Whatever. This lady. Oh, good. She's still in the freaking towel. Okay, well, we didn't make any new choices from the last scene, so I'll save over that. It's waiting for me. What does it want? It hasn't done anything to me yet. It feels like Rebecca. What if it's okay? Maybe I should approach it? But then maybe I should grab a knife from the kitchen first. Just to be safe. Okay, here's the thing. It has not acted aggressively towards us. I feel like if we grab a knife, that's gonna escalate things or anger it, so I don't know. I mean, it hasn't been chasing us around. It never followed us upstairs. It hasn't done anything. So, normally I'm the one saying, get the knife, grab the knife. But 1, it's a ghost. What is a knife gonna do against a ghost, right? 2, it hasn't done anything aggressive, right? I did say, you're right. So worst case, we'll just reload. She wants a hairdryer. Yeah, she can't even hear us. She's got her AirPods in. I feel like we'll die if we take her hand. I feel like we're gonna die if we take her hand. You don't just grab a ghost's hand. That's like how you get spirited away, right? She wants money. $350. Give her a nice firm handshake. High five, right? She just wants some supplements. This is the landlord. It's just our landlord. Okay, I'm gonna have to reject. Because you can't just touch a ghost. It's not right. What's that phrase? Thou shalt not tup with a ghost? No. Yeah, see, there you go. There you go. Sad ghost. I ran away from the thing that claimed to be Rebecca and didn't look back. Telling no one, I fled to the other side of the country to get away from what I saw that night. Like, did you just never go back for your stuff? I moved into an affordable home inside a rural town in the countryside, a place where I thought I might be safe. I wouldn't be in a rural town in the countryside, because what if the ghost comes for you? You're not going to have a lot of people around you. But it didn't end there. Oh, great. She's still in the freaking... Rebecca did not seem convinced of my rejection and would not relent in its advances. Okay, so now you have a ghost waifu. You're sure it's not going to hurt you, so what's even the point? Just let it become a decoration of your house, right? It's not going to do anything. It's just going to stand there. Hang a coat on its hand, whatever. I couldn't go on living like, oh, she's not about to commit suicide. What are you doing? Oh, you're right. Rebecca died in the hospital. It's not the house that's haunted. She's the one that's haunted. I couldn't go on living like this. It would follow me to my last breath. Well, who cares? It's not attacking you. That's the main reason people hate ghosts, is they're afraid of them. You're just annoyed. I swear, Elaine. Rebecca's like, do a barrel roll. Plus that bridge was like 10 feet below her. I don't know what she's thinking. This is but one of 6 ends to Elena's story. Your choices incur real consequences, significantly altering your conclusion to Morph Girl. Will you find them all? Gotta catch them all. Okay, let's go back to our most recent choice. We'll take the freaking ghost's hand, whatever. Give her a little high five, slap it around, whatever. Okay. Yeah, fine, whatever. Freaking drama queen. Get the ghost, GF. We traded our cancer GF for a ghost GF. It wasn't Rebecca. Oh no, I'm dead. I'm freaking dead. It's just some freaking random ghost. That's amazing. But aside from inconsistency in both memory and personality, its actions were almost identical to hers. Wait a minute, are you saying it's Rebecca, but she's not acting like herself? Or she is acting like herself, but it's not Rebecca? Like, are you saying it's a completely different ghost, or that the ghost itself is not Rebecca, but like a memory of Rebecca, or I don't even know what this dialogue is telling me. And that was real enough for me. She's just gonna like, oh no. Take it with her on dates and like to the movies and stuff. Oh my god, I was joking. She is legitimately incorporating the ghost as a girlfriend into her life. More horror games should end like this, just for how funny it is. I moved to an affordable country home, just like I wanted. It was a nice place, somewhere comfortable where I could hide Rebecca from the world. Are you telling me other people can see her? It barely spoke, and it never felt human to me, but I could go on to pretend that things were just as they were prior to Rebecca's death for almost 11 months. Yeah, I guess that is instant coffee. It's not her, but acts like her. So does that mean it's not a ghost at all, but it's like a manifestation of Elaine's memories? Like, is it a ghost or isn't it? Is it a poltergeist? Is it not sentient at all? Gosh, this is just so funny. My life didn't really change after Rebecca came back. I got another office job. At first, it was refreshing to be around coworkers that didn't resent me, but my life was too secretive to ever make friends. Well, listen, just don't take them to your house. You can have lots of friends, just don't take them home with you. It may have been the same old routine, but now I wasn't in it alone. How about you take Rebecca's ghost or whatever that is to the office and have her do the reports, okay? It's legitimate. I almost made the joke, does it at least cook her dinner when she comes back? And it is legitimately cooking freaking dinner. I'm so done. I often felt guilty, but never guilty enough to return to my grief. Oh, it is legitimately cooking her dinner. I don't even... Yeah, this is like Scary Movie. Oh, God. The ghost gave us cancer. Well, it's one of the downsides. This is like one of your Japanese manga. Oh, God. Okay. All right. Come with us, page 11, abnormal. Perhaps this was. Jane realized people could probably see her. They were in the open field that was at the back of her house. They walked in a line, the children in front, herself following, holding out her raw hands. They led her through the field. She didn't know how long they had been walking for. Whenever she faltered or hesitated, without looking, they knew. Come with us, they would encourage her, so she continued. Until they came to the lake, she stopped in her tracks. No, I can't. They all stood in a line and turned to her. They faced her with blank expressions. They didn't speak as she expected them to. They waited. Jane's gaze darted between them and her burned hands. The pain was making her restless. She shifted her weight from leg to leg, rocking from side to side. They waited. I can't come with you. She spoke quickly. They walked towards her. Jane felt her heart quicken. The little boy took her hand, as did the girl. The other boy took hold of her dress. They looked at her. The touch of their icy hands felt good against her burning skin. The three of them blinked at her expectantly, though they didn't speak. She took one step forward. They all stepped with her. She inhaled and took another step. Slowly they made their way to the edge of the water. In there? She spoke softly. Jane could feel herself shaking again. Listen, just punt them into the lake. Nothing good is going to happen if you get in there. Come with us, they responded, stepping ahead of her into the water. Jane trailed her fingers along the surface of the water just as the children disappeared from view. She smiled. She followed. It was shallow at first. She stepped down a little deeper. The water was soft and soothing on her burning skin. It was cool but not uncomfortable. It felt nice. Jane found herself welcoming it. Atypical, finding yourself following three identical-looking, expressionless children who showed up in the middle of the night into a lake was odd, by anyone's standards, especially Jane's. She expected no one would believe her, not that anyone would know. Jane had lived her life by the book, following all the rules, such abnormality happening to the most normal person she knew, herself. Jane trailed her fingers along the surface of the water just as the children disappeared from view. She smiled. Hey, listen, it's not child abuse if they're already ghosts. I died 11 months later. Wow. Whatever it was, our relationship was symbiotic, imitating loved ones to feed off the willing hosts to survive, so it was a parasite. It was a freaking parasite. I mean, it did cook us dinner, but at the same time, it gave us AIDS or something. Yeesh. Imitating loved ones to feed off of willing hosts to survive, so it's not Rebecca. I couldn't tell if they were going with well, it's not Rebecca, but it's like a manifestation of Rebecca. No, it's just flat off a ghost parasite. Stupid. You see, that's why I rejected its advances, right? Okay, this time we're getting the knife. We are getting the knife. As it turns out, there's only so long a person can last in such a relationship. I don't know if it was worth it, but it was easy. Well, now you're both ghosts, so yeah, now we can beat the hell out of that parasite now that we're on their terms, you know what I mean? This is but one of 6 ends to Elena's story. Your choice incur... Okay, yeah, we've seen this before. All right, we're getting the knife. Time to get the... Yeah. Time to stab us, an incorporeal being. If they're both ghosts, she'll break up. Okay. All right, knife time. This needs a living love interest. Yeah, all it needs is the love triangle between her and a living co-worker that comes by at the last second. Where are the knives? Yeah. I love how Elena's skirt is literally up to her ribcage. Plot twist, she stabs the landlord. Knife. That thing tried to strangle us. Wait, you got a license for that knife? Oh yeah, I forgot this is in the UK. And that was the end of that. Everything would be and remain the same. Everything would return to normal, never changing. I should have gotten the knife. That was my instincts, but I didn't want to provoke the freaking ghost. We actually buried the freaking ghost in a field. Oh no, it wasn't even a ghost. Well, it was, I bet it was a ghost, but it was like solid. You know what I mean? Because clearly it was not human. It would have been so much easier to just put a lampshade over it. Yeah, but then we'll start coughing up blood, 11 months later. That idiot actually slept with a dead body. To be honest, the coughing up blood was probably an STD we got from the freaking corpse ghost, so, I mean, what are you gonna do? Come with us, page 9. Contented. Jane didn't realize she had forgotten about work until midday. She had spent the day sitting around the dining table with the children. She had prepared them all cereal, and it sat untouched in front of them. Jane found herself too exhausted to eat much herself. Clearly none of them had an appetite. She asked them questions. All 5 of them individual. So there's 5 now? She knew they looked the same, but it didn't mean they wanted to be treated the same. She identified her first little girl as the most confident. She had pointed and shown distress and resistance. Her first boy was attentive. He very occasionally would do something that his siblings would not. The twin girls were affectionate. They often stood close to one another, their skin touching, though one was always the first to move closer when they briefly separated. The smallest boy was sweet. The way he looked up at her melted her heart a little. She smiled at them all in silence. She suddenly didn't care for work. They would only send her home. Jane found herself reluctant to leave the house at all. Finally, she stood and began collecting away the dishes. "You can go sit in there now," she spoke lightly. They filed out of the room after her and gathered in the entrance to the living room, watching and waiting for her. She disappeared from their sight, and she noted that they stayed in the room as she had told them to. Jane allowed herself to smile a little. She never thought she'd become content. There was still fear, but it no longer gripped her. She was free. Is she actually playing house with these freaking 5 ghost kids? Maybe the cancer girl already had a parasite ghost and spoke about them in her books. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And this is like her way of kind of writing about it. Maybe the ghost takes different forms, sort of like It Follows. I'm getting It Follows vibes from this, honestly. Where was I? Jane returned to her children. They were gathered by the fireplace. She had lit the fire when they had first descended the stairs together. It warmed the room nicely, but they were standing too close. Their eyes were immediately on her as she entered the room, following her. They get too close and they end up set on fire. So this is the page before page 11, which is where she wanders into the freaking lake. "Come away from the fire." She beckoned them over. They did as she said. "You don't want to burn yourself." "Come with us," they all spoke together. It startled her. It was the first they'd spoken outside of her bedroom. Jane swallowed down her fear and clasped her shaking hands together. "I'll come with you if you tell me where." Their heads all snapped to the fireplace and began filing, one by one, over to it. "Come with us," they spoke again. Jane parted her lips to warn them of the fire once more, but was met with horror as the twin girls both climbed into the flames. "Come with us," the duo spoke at her, returning their gazes as they crouched in the burning heat. "No!" Jane screamed at them. She pulled the remaining 3 of them away from the fire. They looked at her with bland faces. "You'll burn." Jane tried to reach for the twins. It burned at her hands and our arms, but she continued to tug at them. Her heartbeat was loud in her ears. Her frantic movements were no use. The children only seemed to burn, their skin growing red and blistering. The dresses they wore were slowly eaten by the flames, their hair also beginning to fall in locks. Jane dropped to her knees at the fireplace. She held out her raw hands, and they didn't speak, they didn't scream, they just melted away right in front of her. Jane couldn't stop the tears that silently snaked down her cheeks. Okay, so this is why her hands were burned in the previous ending when she goes to the lake. It's weird that it's hurting the ghosts, though. Huh. That one secret dream area in Psychonauts? What area was that? Really, all I remember is the Milkman level and the Phantom of the Opera level. Maybe I didn't make it to the secret area. Later, skater, as they throw themselves into the flames. Okay, so we are 3 endings down out of 6. 2 we died, 1 we survived. Okay, so what could we... maybe I should call it a night. I haven't done a break either. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and call it a night here. And then... tomorrow I'm gonna be out. I think I'll take the day off tomorrow. So the day after tomorrow, we'll go ahead and resume and see if we can get the remaining endings, huh? It's a ghost fire. How are you feeling now? Better than I was yesterday, but the I have to clear my throat like every couple minutes, and it's not that fun. Kind of puts a damper on the reading a bit, but otherwise, it seems like I'm getting better. Okay, so tell you what, let's go ahead and leave it here, and I'll see you guys. I'll have tomorrow off, I think, but the day after tomorrow. What are you going for after Morph Girl? It's either going to be football game or clean suit. I'm really looking forward to playing one of those. So, or maybe I'll mix it up with a free horror game. Who knows? Yeah. Considering it. You're a new subscriber. You enjoyed the stream. Have a good one. Yeah, I'm glad it was fun. I don't know if they're exciting per se, but I do try to just at least interact with people. Let's see. Things are bugging out, so you're gonna, yeah, exactly, me too. So it's a good time to do it. I'll see you guys the day after tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have another fun game. Oh wait, what am I saying? We're gonna be doing Morph Girl again, but after that we'll have a fun game. Oh, I have to play that Flash game. By the way, in case you guys didn't see the beginning of the stream, one of you guys, Firewall, found that Flash game I was talking about yesterday in the Spooky House game. It's called Heist, A Thief's Nightmare, or something like that. It's a Flash game. It's on Newgrounds. So I'm 100% going to play that probably after Morph Girl. So, yeah. All good stuff, and hope you guys are having a good week so far, and hope everybody's staying healthy and enjoying this nice weather. Alright. Well, I'll see you guys another day, and bye-bye. See you next time.